Good evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Thursday, October 6th. Another solid gain today in Wall Street. And yet again, most of the gains we saw came in the last 30 minutes of the day, just like it has every single day this week. A big surge of buying going into the last 30 minutes of the day took us up almost 100 points from the low 30 minutes before the close. And that just continues a trend that is starting to look very, very positive. We are climbing a wall of worry right now, but I've noticed a nice change in the market over the last couple of sessions. Swing is starting to come back into play. Stocks are dipping and then bouncing back, and it's no real surprise. We just had a total washout of traders and investors on that market low that we saw down there 3 days ago, and this is what happens thereafter. We had a big washout in the small and mid caps going into quarter end, and one thing I've noticed that I think could possibly make this a lot different than all these previous pop and drops that we've been in this trading range over the last several weeks is on this move up. We're not seeing the small and mid-cap stocks sell off. We're actually starting to see good charts respond. We're starting to see dips get bought. We're starting to see a lot of them not make new lows. And that was a big difference, especially over that last rally that we had a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, where it was only a handful of stocks moving up. Everything was dead. Everything was moving lower. Things have changed. This is the time of the year when you would expect to see this happen, and the exact same thing happened this time last year. So I'm very optimistic in the near term. Now we've got a big hurdle to get over tomorrow. We've got the jobs report. Expectations are for non-farm payroll 60K, private employers 83K. I think we're going to beat that number, but let's see. One other big positive for this market, the European issue, which is just been beaten on the head of this market for the last 3 or 4 months. Finally, it looks like these idiots in Europe are starting to do something, and the can is getting kicked down the road, and that is great for us. That is the only thing that has been stopping us for a rebound back to the teabagger high that we had there in July. We are about to break a downtrend line in the Dow. You know, we're right there, but I'd like to see us break through that 50-day moving average there at 11,262. That would give me a warm and fuzzy if we were able to do that. And that would be, breaking. This is when the teabaggers started holding the government hostage with the debt ceiling negotiation, and then, that coupled with everything else took us down. Washout low, looks like we have seen it, so fingers crossed. We've got RSI about to break 50. Now check these two things out on the chart. Here is stochastics. We've had a downtrend line in place from the teabagger high up in back in July, and we look like we're about to break that downtrend line and break up through the 50 level. And one other thing to take a note of. This is the unbalanced chart. This essentially is a momentum indicator. It sort of shows you that buying is stronger than selling. Check out the unbalanced volume over the last several weeks. Even though this market has been range-bound and in a crappy range, unbalanced volume continues to push high, and we've actually broken above the high we saw back at the July highs. So keep that in mind. We've got a lot of bearish talk out there. We got a big wall of worry to climb, just like we did back in 2010 and actually back in 2009. One thing to keep in mind as well, and you've seen me talk about it over the last couple of videos and in the chat room quite a bit, this market reminds me a lot of 2009. There are so many cheap stocks out there right now. There are so many cheap biotech stocks trading at 25, 50, 75% under their cash value. That is how insane this market has gotten over the last couple of months. And that is why this economy is not going into a recession. If you look at the economic data out there, we're still bouncing around at the bottom. Look at some of the stats I posted in the chat room today. Trucking utilization up yet again, 21st month in a row. What happened is we had the government held hostage over the debt ceiling crisis. We had businesses stop spending, stop investing as they waited to see what happened. Now they're starting to do that again, and I think we're going to start to see the economic data really pick up over the next several weeks. And again, the caveat on that is We just need Europe to shut up and look like they're working towards a resolution. Dow 15-minute chart, you can see we're right up to that resistance line, back up into that channel, and we're looking at possibly getting a golden cross sometime tomorrow. And remember, average gain on the golden cross has been about 150 points, so let's see if that follows through. SMH, cha-ching. We're all the way back up. We've got a $1.50 dividend that we're going to get paid next week, and this one's got eyes on moving back up to the $29 level. We are about to get a positive MACD cross. Stochastics have broken up through the 50 level, and I just love the action we are seeing in the SMH and in the overall market, essentially. I think we washed out everyone that was going to sell 3 days ago, and now we're going to start seeing traders move back in. You got a lot of traders going to high cash, going into the close, jobs report tomorrow, and then the market ripped off a 100-point rally. You know, they're only going to do that so often. They're only going to watch so many charts start to explode. And this thing called greed is going to start creeping in. And that is why this market is just coiled. Guys, you just got to be patient. We are going to have one mother of a time in this market. It's going to be fantastic. Money is going to be falling from the sky. Just be a little bit patient. The charts, the valuations are there right now. We just need a little bit of confidence in the market, some breakouts to the upside, and you're going to see this market just respond like it did for us back in 2009, like it did for us back in November through February of last year. Good times are a-coming. As for some stock plays, let's jump in. ANX, cash-rich biotech stock, trading 60. I think they've got $40 million in cash. Their market cap is $23 million. I mean, we could buy this company up, shut the doors, and collect $20 million. We are about to break a long-term downtrend line dating back to the highs back here in July. 20-day exponential is just slightly higher at 101, but this kind of setup here could be an explosive upside move here in the near term. Look what it did back in September. We ran from 90 cents to $1.40 in 3 days. Double bottom, chart setup, stochastics, bottomed out and curling up. This one is coiled for a very big move in the near term. TNGN, sticking with the cash-rich biotech stocks, trading, $10 million market cap, $25 million in cash, no debt. 20-day exponential, 65 cents, minimal downside. This is exactly how we nailed the market and banked huge profits back in 2009, was buying ridiculous valuations in biotech stocks, trading way under their cash value. Here is another perfect opportunity. Stock has cash. NASDAQ extension until April of next year. Nice bottomed out, washed out chart, and looking very, very good for an easy run back to that 20-day exponential. Our other play that we did a trading alert on yesterday, CYCC, almost a 20% return from that alert yesterday, and still dirt cheap. Positive MACD cross coming. We haven't even had stochastics break up through the 20 level. Just looks great. Any dips, 41 cents and under, I would be looking to accumulate. And like I said in the chat room, I'm starting to swing positions now. They're going to be small positions, but I'm going into swing mode right now because what I'm seeing is if we pick up our positions, small positions, give them a little bit of rope, they dip and run is what we're starting to see. And that is a sign of a healthy market. And that's why, I haven't been in the swing mode for 2 months just because the market wasn't ready. I think it's ready for that now. SCON, beaten down over the last week, and the reason this one looks good, USAT, which was a monster play for us. We gapped this one yesterday at $1.20, almost a 15% bounce on this one today, and you see decimated over the last month, and a fat rebound. Looking for similar here on SCON, bounce back to the 20-day exponential up there at $1.50. It could do that on a few thousand shares, and these kind of setups are all over the market. Some very, very, very nice chart setups. OPXT, about to break its downtrend line. We've got the 20-day exponential 10% higher at 133 going, come join me up here. 50-day up at $1.50. Tech stocks doing very, very nicely. Deeply oversold. Minimal downside, very nice upside, nice beaten down chart. This is what's going to start exploding left and right, so pay attention to the setup. CYTR, another cash-rich stock, 40 million plus in cash, trading at its market cap. Breakout would be the 20-day exponential, 34 cents. And really, if this one broke 40 cents, this is one I would look to go really large on a break of 40 cents. So this is going to be the kind of play we're going to be looking at playing into year end. FCEL, dropped almost 50% over the last 3-4 weeks. Very, very nice bottom action. We've got 50-day moving average up there, 105 to 112, calling the stock. RSI bouncing up. We should be looking at a positive MACD cross maybe tomorrow, probably for sure on Monday. We've got stochastics coming out of the basement, and this one beaten down big time going into quarter end, should get a very nice bounce back here. Last but not least, another cash-rich bio, NSPH. Even a bounce back to its 20-day exponential is about 15% higher. Nice bottoming action here over the last couple of days. RSI out of the basement. Positive MACD cross coming. We got our stochastics buy trigger on the move up through 20 today. Looks very, very solid. And again, the company's free. We're getting it for under cash value. We could buy up all the shares in this company, shut it down, and walk away with $20 million in cash. Insane valuations. Great way to initially play a bounce in the market. And once you start seeing stocks like this go boom, 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 you'll start to see it spread out. So I'm a little bit optimistic here on the market. Let's see what the jobs report brings for us tomorrow. But I like what I'm seeing right now. And I also like the extreme level of bearishness still out there. Traders don't believe it. This is the season this is the time of the year when the markets bottom out, just like last year and the year before. So we could be in store for a very, very nice run into the year end. That's it for the video. Any questions, feel free to send me an email or hit me up in the chat room, and I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.